What's up, you guys? So finally, right, here is part 1 or style 1 of my bob series, how to create certain bob styles with easy sort of trick ways to cut the hair. And the hair that I'm using is the Peruvian version straight hair that I received from Peerless company from AliExpress. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do your middle part bob, and that's probably the easiest, so I'm going to start with that one. So what you want to do is determine how long or short you want your bob. What I want to do for this style, I don't want to do a short one just yet, so I think I'm going to go probably about right here. So if I know I want my bob to end up about right here, I'm going to focus my first cut, and we're going to do our first cut in a second. I'm going to focus it a little lower, so as you take off, you don't extend beyond the point where you want it to in the first place. So you're going to put the hair behind you. This is trick number 1. You're going to put the hair in a ponytail, okay? And then bring the rubber band down as far as you want it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in a ponytail right in the middle. You want to make sure it's even on both sides. Don't put any sort of stress or anything on it. You don't have to force it to do anything. Just make sure it's right in the center. And I'm going to bring it down some. You see how I'm just easily rolling it down so it stays even. And if I know I want my bob to be about right here, I'm going to go lower than that. So your first cut is going to be directly beneath this rubber band. And you want to make sure when you cut that you're not moving the ponytail right and left. That has to be very still, okay? You're just literally just, and it may take, depending on your shears, you may have to just, but be patient. Let it move through, because if you're moving your hand and you're moving the rubber band and this is cutting, it's not going to be right. And I'm holding this very lightly. I'm not pulling it, I'm not tugging it. Okay, so I kind of wanted to give you an example of, so as you can see, this side's a little bit lower. If you go to the back, it looks like really jagged, right? Okay, now we got all of that hair off of our heads so that now we can work the bob, okay? You don't want to work unnecessary hair. So I don't want that much taken off of here. That's why I cut literally like right below where I want it. So what I'm going to do, I want to do like an angle, a forward diagonal bob. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wide tooth comb and kind of comb down, and I'm using these 2 fingers to kind of smooth the hair after the comb, okay? And if you know you want to angle your bob forward, your hand is going to go forward. Your 2 fingers are going to go forward. And if you can see, it's going to go forward until right here. You see those raggedy ends? We're going to cut it, but we're going to follow our finger. Just cut it right, but do not cut your fingers, okay? Cut it right there at that angle. That's going to give us exactly where we want our forward bob to go. Okay? So now, if you know you want your forward bob to stop here, that means, if you just look at it, that means you have to angle this up. So this, anything below my shears has to come off. You see what I'm saying? So, easiest way to do this, okay? I'm not going to get into all the heavy stuff. The easiest way to do this is turn to your side, and just like I said, just using your visual. If you know that the end of your bob, the longest part of your bob is right here in the front. So you literally, just using your visual, just cut up in an angle. And you can kind of put the comb, I'm like literally touching my neck with the comb. So if you see, again, talking about your angles, if you see that right here, for instance. You want the tip of your bob to be here, so this little bit of hair right here can come off, okay? Because you're following your angle. Okay, so you can use that as a guide. Again, using your comb as your guide. I see a little bit right here that can come off. This is why you don't cut hair with a frilly shirt on. And if you're using shears like this, when you're doing a bob on yourself, you have to use these correctly, okay? So whenever you're finished with a cut, before you start, you know, fondling with your comb, take your thumb out of the loop. Keep it closed, okay? So you don't have to put your shears down, pick them up, put them down, pick them up. That's what they're designed for while you're cutting. But as soon as you're done with that cut, don't just go straight for this, because you're going, okay? You don't want to do that. So take your thumb out, close it. Then you can work with it, okay? We don't want you to, we don't want you to tear yourself up now. Not for no bob. Okay, again, this time I'm using my fingers and the comb to kind of let me know where I need to cut to get that angle. Now, we're gonna come to the other side and we're gonna use this piece as a guide, okay? This side is a little longer. So what I'm gonna do is take a little bit off, but I'm angling forward now. Keep in mind, nothing changes. What you do to one side, you have to do the other. Okay, it's like math. Now that you have these front two where you want them to be, now you gotta do the same thing that you did over here, you have to do over here. So you gotta travel it up, okay? And because I want a long bob, I'm not gonna angle it so high up, because the higher you angle, the shorter that your bob is going to be in the back, okay? And that's coming up. Don't you fret. We're going to do that. We're going to do this one first. So I'm not angling like this. I'm angling more so like that, okay? To keep that length. Follow your vision of exactly where you want your line to be. Exactly where you want your angle to be. Trust your eyes. Okay? See, I want it to be like this, so all this hair has to go. It's as easy as that. You just gotta follow your eye, make your angle with your eye, and follow that invisible line. Now, what you have to do is, you have to look, literally just look, like I said before. If you have one side that's already pretty angled the way you want it, like this is already pretty much at the layer that I want, it's the other side that I have to match. You figure out which side is at the right length. You don't mess with that side. Like this side is good for me. So what you're gonna do is turn to the opposite side. The hair that I'm gonna cut is on this side. So I need to be facing the other side, so I can see the good side right here, and then I can look and see the hair that is protruding from the good side, and that's this right here. I can see it. So what I'm able to do is I see exactly what hair needs to go. Right there is where it needs to go, okay? So what I'll do is take my fingers, okay? This hair is the hair that's out of place. Take my fingers, hold it. That's where you cut. Then drop it, put it down. Comb it. I see hair, bam, right there. Hair needs to go. So, again, same thing. There we go. Now it's starting to come into the light. Just to double check, I press the hair down and you can kind of see if there's any part that is not in place, it'll stick out. Then you grab your hair, whatever part that you just saw that wasn't in place, like this little piece right there, bam, cut it. That's how you check yourself. That's how you check your style when you're doing it this way. Let your fingers check. See? The little pieces that are out of line, chop them off. Little pieces out of line, chop them. Just scale the front of the hair. Frame it to your face. Okay? And then you're going to take your, and I'm trying to do this before my camera does. Bump your ends if you want to. If the hair that you're using can stand the heat, bump your ends. If not, let it flow. An easy way for your hair to have the wispies is you can either use thinning shears or you can use these shears. Thinning shears are the shears that look like this, but it has one side is like a comb. You can point cut. So right at the ends, you're kind of cutting at a point. You're just taking little snippets of the end. Okay? That gives you the wispy look. Just point cut a little bit. Just randomly. Randomly point cut. Okay? That's how you get the wispy. And this is your long bob. This is part 1 in our bob series. And I will have pictures at the end to show you, because my camera's about to die, guys. So I will show you the final result in the pictures. In the meantime, stay tuned for part 2. Peace and good love. Bye. Okay, you guys, here is the final result. I'm definitely feeling it. And you can really rock this however you like, but this is it. Let me know if you guys have any questions and I will answer, and stay tuned for part 2. Until then, peace and good love. Bye. You should hold on to me, baby, hold on to me, hold on. Never will this man ever think he's so pathetic. Caught up in the world, not concerned about aesthetics. I'm blessed with abilities far beyond the speed of light. So tonight, no fussing or fight. Fireball shots, not defending my right, but my lifestyle, my valley gal, a white gal.